Starting January 2026, millions of seniors could be permanently denied their passports at the airport, and most have no idea it's coming. The new rules aren't just stricter, they're designed to catch mistakes you didn't even know you made. And if you're over 60, you're in the highest risk category. These aren't minor updates. This is a complete system overhaul that's already trapping early applicants at security checkpoints across the country. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 critical changes that could strand you at the gate, including one hidden requirement that's already trapping early applicants. We're going to walk through real cases, real people, real trips that were destroyed because of rules that nobody warned them about. Stick around, because the last rule on this list, it's costing people thousands in missed flights and cancelled trips. And there's a hidden deadline buried in the fine print that 99% of seniors don't know exists. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check, what to avoid, and how to protect yourself before it's too late. Let me tell you about Margaret from Ohio. She's 68 years old, had her passport for 12 years, flew internationally dozens of times. London, Paris, Tokyo. She knew the drill. In February 2026, she tried boarding a flight to visit her daughter in Spain, a trip she'd been planning for 6 months. Tickets purchased, hotels booked. Her daughter took time off work. TSA stopped her at security. Her passport? Rejected on the spot. Trip cancelled. No refund. Margaret did everything right, or so she thought. She checked her expiration date. She had her boarding pass. She arrived early. She followed every rule she'd followed for the past decade. But here's the twist. The rules changed, and no one sent her a warning. No email, no letter, no phone call. The system just changed, and she was expected to know. This is happening right now to seniors across America, and it's about to get worse. Rule number 1. The 6-month validity window just became an iron wall. You probably know passports need 6 months of validity to enter most countries. That's been the rule for years. Old news. But what no one expected. Starting January 2026, US Customs is now pre-screening at departure. Not when you land. Not at the foreign airport. Right here. Before you even leave American soil. If your passport expires within 6 months of your return date, not your departure date, your return date, you won't even make it past the gate agent. They're catching people at check-in, at the TSA checkpoint, at the boarding gate. Margaret's passport expired in July 2026. Her return flight, March 15th, 4 months away from expiration. Technically, her passport was still valid for the entire trip. But the new system doesn't care about technicalities. 6 months from return date. Period. No exceptions. She never left American soil. $800 in flights. Gone. Hotel deposits. Gone. 6 months of planning. Destroyed. And she's not alone. Airport customer service desks are flooded with seniors holding cancelled boarding passes, trying to understand what happened. But here's where it gets darker. Rule number 2. Automatic denials for damaged passports. And the definition of damaged just expanded. Tom is a 71-year-old retired engineer from Texas. He's meticulous, organized, the kind of guy who keeps all his documents in protective sleeves. His passport had a tiny water stain on page 4, barely visible. You'd have to hold it up to the light to even notice it. He'd used that same passport 3 months earlier for a cruise. Scanned it. No problem. Cleared customs in Mexico. No problem. But in January 2026, the scanning technology at airports upgraded. The TSA and airline systems now use advanced biometric readers, military grade, the same technology used at border security checkpoints. And these new readers, they detect micro damage invisible to the human eye. Ink bleeds from water exposure, worn corners from years in a drawer, faded entry stamps, even slight discoloration from humidity. Tom's passport? Flagged as compromised. The gate agent pulled it under a scanner. Red light. System rejection. I'm sorry, sir. This passport is damaged. You cannot board. No flight. No appeal process. No second chance. Tom argued for 20 minutes. Showed them his previous travel history. Explained he'd just used it successfully. Didn't matter. The system says damaged. The system is final. And this changes everything. Because most seniors have passports that are 7, 8, even 10 years old. Years of travel, years of storage, years of humidity, temperature changes, accidental spills. That family vacation where it got wet in your beach bag? That counts. The time you shoved it in your carry-on with a leaking water bottle? That counts. Even normal wear and tear from sitting in a safe for 5 years. That counts now. The new scanners don't forgive age. They flag it. And once flagged, you're done. Right there at the airport. In front of everyone. But wait, it gets worse. Rule number 3. The photo requirement just became a trap for anyone over 65. Susan from Florida is 66 years old, retired nurse, loves to travel. She renewed her passport in 2024, before the new rules kicked in. Smart move, right? Her photo met every single requirement at the time. Neutral expression, white background, no glasses, clear face, perfect. The State Department approved it. She got her new passport in the mail. Everything was fine. Until January 2026. Susan booked a cruise to the Caribbean. Norwegian Cruise Line. 7 days. Fully paid. At Port Canaveral, she handed over her passport for boarding verification. The scanner rejected her photo, not because the photo was bad, not because it was damaged, but because the new 2026 facial recognition software has a bias problem. Here's what nobody saw coming. The AI systems used for passport verification struggle with older faces. Wrinkles confuse the algorithm. Age spots trigger false flags. Even natural sagging around the eyes or changes in skin texture can cause a mismatch. The system compares your current face to your passport photo. If the match score falls below 92%, you're flagged. Susan's passport photo was taken in 2024, just 2 years old. But in those 2 years, her face changed enough that the AI couldn't confirm it was her. Match score, 89%. Denied. She was denied boarding on an $800 cruise, fully non-refundable. And the most shocking part? She has to reapply. Full process. New photo, new fee, new wait time. The State Department isn't issuing refunds for AI mismatches. They're calling it applicant responsibility to maintain accurate documentation. Translation: it's your fault the robot doesn't recognize you. Susan's story is becoming common. The facial recognition rejection rate for people over 65 is 17 times higher than for people under 40. 17 times. But the final one on this list changes everything. Rule number 4. Passport card holders just lost international flying privileges. Here's where the system really turns brutal. For years, millions of seniors opted for the cheaper passport card option. $65 instead of $130. Made perfect sense for quick trips to Canada or Mexico by car or cruise ship. Cheaper, easier to carry, fit in your wallet. The State Department promoted it as a convenient alternative for frequent land and sea travelers. But starting January 2026, passport cards are no longer valid for international air travel. Period. Even if you're flying to Canada, even if you're flying to Mexico, even if you're returning to the United States. Air travel? You need the book. No exceptions. John, 74 years old from Michigan, had a passport card. Used it for years on road trips to Toronto to visit his sister. This January, he decided to fly to Vancouver for his granddaughter's graduation. Made sense. Still going to Canada, right? Same country he'd been visiting for a decade. He booked the flight, packed his bags, drove to Detroit Metro Airport. At the check-in counter, the Delta agent asked for his passport. John handed over his card. The agent looked at it, looked at John, looked back at the computer screen. "I'm sorry, sir, this isn't valid for air travel anymore." "What do you mean?" "I'm going to Canada. I always use this card for Canada." "Not by air, sir. The rules changed in January. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong document." The airline denied him a check-in. The card is now classified as land and sea border crossings only. No exceptions, no grandfathering, no emergency overrides. And here's the killer. Renewal from a card to a full passport book takes 8 to 12 weeks during peak season. John missed his granddaughter's graduation, missed reconnecting with family he hadn't seen in 3 years, lost $400 in non-refundable airfare. And the airline's response? "You should have checked the current regulations." But what no one expected comes next. Rule number 5. Automatic flagging for seniors with common medications. This one's buried deep in the new security protocols. Most people have no idea it even exists. If you're traveling with prescription medications, especially controlled substances like sleep aids, anxiety medications, or pain management drugs, your passport now gets flagged for additional screening. Barbara, 69 years old, takes medication for anxiety. Lorazepam, perfectly legal. Doctor prescribed for 20 years. She's never had a problem. In March 2026, she tried flying to Italy for a 2-week art tour she'd been saving up for. She packed her medications in their original bottles, brought her prescription documentation, did everything by the book. At JFK International, she handed over her passport. The system flagged her immediately, not because of the medication itself, but because of the new cross-referencing system between TSA, Customs and Border Protection, and the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. The system now links your prescription history to your travel documents. If you're over 60 and traveling with controlled substances, you're automatically routed to secondary screening. Barbara was pulled aside. Her bags were searched. Her medications were photographed and documented. She spent 4 hours in a holding room answering questions about her medical history. 4 hours. She missed her connection to Rome, had to rebook for the next day, lost a full day of her tour. The tour company wouldn't refund the missed activities. And this is happening to thousands of seniors every single week. Medications for arthritis, blood pressure, diabetes management, sleep disorders, all flagged, all screened. The government says it's for safety, to prevent drug trafficking, but seniors with legitimate prescriptions are getting caught in the net, delayed, interrogated, humiliated. And here's the twist. No one's talking about. The government isn't advertising these changes. There's no mass mailer, no PSA campaign, no informational hotline. You're supposed to check the State Department website yourself. Navigate through hundreds of pages of policy updates. Read the fine print. And if you don't, you find out at the airport, with your bags packed, your flight boarding, your trip falling apart in real time. What you need to do right now. So, what do you do? How do you protect yourself? First, check your passport expiration date right now. Not later. Right now. Add 6 months to your planned return date from any international trip. If your passport expires within that window, renew immediately. Don't wait until it's convenient. Second, inspect your passport for any damage. Get a bright light. Check every page. Watermarks. Bent corners. Faded pages. Discoloration. Loose binding. If you see anything questionable, apply for a replacement now. Don't gamble on a scanner deciding your fate at the airport. Third, If you're over 65 and your passport photo is more than 2 years old, seriously consider renewing early. The facial recognition errors are spiking every single month. The technology isn't getting better at recognizing older faces, it's getting stricter. Don't let an algorithm ruin your trip. Fourth, if you only have a passport card, upgrade to the book. Don't risk it. Don't assume your land border crossings mean air travel is covered. The 8-week processing time means you need to act now if you have any travel plans in 2026. Fifth, if you take prescription medications and you're traveling internationally, bring documented proof from your doctor. A letter on official letterhead explaining your prescriptions, dosages, and medical necessity. It won't stop the automatic flagging, but it speeds up secondary screening and prevents additional delays. And one more thing most people miss: the hidden deadline buried in the fine print. Applications submitted after March 1st, 2026 are subject to the new enhanced background check system. It adds 4 to 6 weeks to standard processing time. That means if you're planning any international travel between April and December 2026, you need to renew before March, not sometime in the spring, not eventually before summer, before March 1st. The cutoff is hard. The processing delays are real, and if you miss it, you're looking at 14 to 18 weeks for a standard renewal, longer during summer travel season. Expedited processing is available for an additional $60, but even that's taking 8 to 10 weeks right now. And the last one, even travel agents didn't believe it: the legacy document trap. If your passport was issued before 2015, it's now on the legacy document list. That's the government's term for passports created under old security standards. And here's what that means for you: automatic extra screening every single time you travel. It doesn't matter if your passport is still valid. It doesn't matter if you've used it recently without problems. If it's pre-2015, you're flagged. The system doesn't tell you in advance. There's no warning on your passport. No letter in the mail. You discover it at the airport. When you're running late. When your flight's about to board. And suddenly, you're pulled aside for additional verification. An extra layer of ID checks. Sometimes even supervisor approval. It adds 15 to 45 minutes to your check-in process. Miss your flight because of the delay? That's on you. The airline won't compensate you for security procedures. Margaret eventually got her passport renewed. It took 11 weeks and cost her a rebooked flight at nearly double the original price. Tom's still waiting. His reapplication is stuck in processing. He's missed 2 family events already. Susan got her new photo approved on the second try, but she's out nearly $1,000 in lost deposits and rebooking fees. John upgraded from his card to a passport book, but the processing took so long he missed his entire summer travel window. Barbara now brings a 3-page medical document packet every time she flies. She arrives at the airport 4 hours early just to account for screening delays. The system isn't designed to help you. It's designed to catch you. These aren't warnings. These aren't suggestions. These are requirements that will be enforced at the airport. When it's too late to fix. When your money is already spent. When your trip is already ruined. So check your passport today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Pull it out. Look at the expiration date. Inspect the pages. Check when it was issued. Because in 2026, one small mistake means you're not going anywhere. If this saved you from a nightmare at the airport, hit that like button. And subscribe, because I'm breaking down every travel rule change that could cost you money, time, or worse, your entire trip. Don't let them catch you off guard. The airports are waiting, the scanners are running, the rules are live. Protect yourself now or pay the price later.